Let's go to diplomatic editor James Bays, who's at the United Nations. James, after saying very little to reassure Ukraine in his official speech earlier at the UNGA, Trump now seems to have made quite a significant about-turn, backing away from Russia and saying that Ukraine can win the war with the EU's support. What do you make of this?
This is the most significant change in Donald Trump's position since the start of the war in Ukraine. Even during the campaign, he was questioning President Zelensky. He was questioning the Ukrainian government, saying that they may have been to blame for the invasion that took place 3.5 years ago. Now he's saying in a post on his Truth Social platform that Ukraine should be able to take back all of its territory, saying that Russia is, in his view, probably a paper tiger. In the last few minutes, we saw President Trump head into the Security Council area through that door a short time ago, and President Zelensky. They're actually going to two separate meetings. President Trump, one about Gaza, I'll tell you about that in a minute. President Zelensky to an open meeting of the UN Security Council, which is happening now to discuss the situation in Ukraine. Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State of the US, will also be speaking in that meeting. So perhaps in the next hour or so, we'll get clearer details of exactly what the new US policy is and why they've decided to change this policy. I can tell you, when the news came through on Truth Social, it happened that foreign ministers and ambassadors of the EU, some other Western countries, were all gathered here to talk about Ukraine to reporters, to read a statement to reporters. They were poring over their phones, reading every single word of that Truth Social post from President Trump. They were very, very surprised, they told me. Even close allies of the US did not know that this change was coming. And after they spoke with their statements, I spoke to Kaja Kallas, the High Representative of the European Union. The European Union is welcoming this change in US policy. They say that this is entirely what is needed. So a very positive response from the European Union to what is a 180-degree change from the Trump administration in terms of its policy on Ukraine.
And James, looking ahead to the gathering between Arab leaders and President Trump, which is also due to start soon to discuss Gaza, given some of the speeches we've heard today at the UNGA, including from the Emir of Qatar describing Israel as a rogue state, there is clearly deep frustration amongst Arab nations when it comes to Israel and the war in Gaza.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's all happening right now in this very small part of the United Nations outside the UN Security Council. Just the choreography of it, you had all the ambassadors here prepared to talk about Ukraine when the Truth Social tweet came through from President Trump. Then you had the Arab leaders go into that room because the room they're having the meeting in is just off where the Security Council meeting on Ukraine is now taking place.
James,
the Arab leaders there,
James, apologies.
James,
apologies. Let's go to Donald Trump, who is speaking at the United Nations in New York.
Back. Right now they have 20 hostages and 38 dead bodies. And the parents of those young people that were killed and are right now in body bags, they want their son or daughter back just as much as they wanted them as though they were alive. We have to get them back. We have to get the 38 back, and we have to get the 20 back. And I think we'll be able to do it. This is the group that can do it. More than any other group in the world, this is the group that can do it. So it's an honor, King, to be with you. And we appreciate it. Tamim, the job you've done is incredible. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, Mr. President, if you don't mind, on behalf of everyone, first of all, thank you very much for hosting such an important meeting at such an important time. I think I will just make it very brief. The only reason we're here is to stop the war and bring the hostages back. And we count on you, on your leadership as well, to end this war and to help the people of Gaza. The situation is very, very, very bad there. So we are here to meet and to do everything we can to stop this war and to bring the hostages back. So once again, Mr. President, thank you very much for hosting everybody.
Well, and also a great speech you made today. Really, I watched it. A really great speech. Thank you very much. And you too, my friend. Great speech. You did a great job pounding on that table. They said, how would you like to deal with him when you left? It's not easy. You did a great job. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. We're going to work very hard on this. This is going to be This is my most important meeting. I've had important meetings. I don't want to insult anybody that we've met with. We met with just 32 meetings here. But this is the one that's very important to me because we're going to end something that should have probably never started. Thank you very much, everybody. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Brad.
Okay, let's go back to our diplomatic editor, James Bays, who's at the United Nations. So, James, this is, I believe, the meeting that we were referring to a little earlier between Arab leaders and Donald Trump to discuss the war in Gaza. We heard that opening there from the Qatari Prime Minister. Let's go back to the expectations of this discussion. What do you think is likely to be discussed, and what sort of reception is Donald Trump likely to have from the Arab leaders?
Well, they want to get Donald Trump's ear. They want to change his mind on the policy in Gaza. And that's why this meeting is taking place. Clearly, the Trump administration have their plans that they want to outline to this Arab and Islamic group. But I think this Arab and Islamic group will say to President Trump, look at the killing, look at the scale of the death toll, look at the fact there is famine. And there is a feeling, certainly among diplomats here at the UN, that sometimes in the White House, President Trump is only getting one side of the story. And by coming here to the United Nations, meeting with these leaders of these countries, including, for example, the Emir of Qatar, who has a good bond with the president, as was clear when we saw the visit of Donald Trump to the Gulf region and to Qatar, as well as Saudi Arabia and UAE. They're hoping that they can persuade President Trump to make a change in policy. President Trump, in his speech earlier on to the General Assembly, said it's something he needed to get to soon, that ceasefire in Gaza. They're hoping he can change his policy. And maybe this is the day, because we've already seen such a big change of policy on Ukraine. Clearly, President Trump is listening to different and new ideas today. They're hoping that perhaps they can change his mind on Gaza and put more pressure on Prime Minister Netanyahu, because the view generally is that the world wants this war to end. The world, as you saw 24 hours ago, is increasingly recognizing a Palestinian state. But the problem is that Israel has one supporter in the UN Security Council, one supporter providing the money, one supporter providing the weapons. And that supporter is the United States. And so the key thing, the key man, the one man that can change things is Donald Trump. And that's what's going on. You saw the very start of the meeting, open meeting, going on just down that corridor, and now the meeting's behind closed doors. Very, very important, I think.
OK, thank you, James. Our diplomatic editor, James Bays, there at the United Nations.